I don't even know if right now what I'm about to discuss actually qualifies as being the NFL. Like, it's obviously a football topic, but I'm looking at the way that people are charged up about this. It's way bigger than football, apparently. It's way deeper than rap. Shedeur Mania has officially arrived. Ladies and gentlemen, it is here. Kevin Stefanski's worst nightmare just took place. And this is what the worst nightmare was, okay? It was a combination of factors. Shedeur Sanders plays. He does not play especially well, but he has a couple of big plays, a couple of good plays, a statistical line that looks decent, and the Browns win. All worst case scenario. Now you're asking yourself, why are these things the worst case scenario for Kevin Stefanski? Number one, this team is bad and probably long run is better by being worse. So, like, every win, I'm not exactly sure how they do in terms of him saving his job or whatever, but they're not necessarily best for the Cleveland Browns. And I think Stefanski, on one level, he's swinging for his job. On the other hand, the man told him he's going to get to keep it, in which case, be sorry and let me get another quarterback. Okay, cool, right? That's not what you want. But that combination of factors that I just gave you means that we are officially in the midst of Shedeur Mania. It is here. This is, I don't want to call it the same as Tebow Mania, but I will say this about Tebow Mania, and I think that this is an important distinction to make where I say that we're kind of in a similar stage, okay? Tebow Mania did not start with his first start. It started with the first game that he went into, which was different than what happened with Shedeur, because the first game that Shedeur went into was because Dillon Gabriel got hurt. No, the Broncos were getting their asses kicked. I think it was by the Chargers. And John Fox said, fine. He took Kyle Orton out the game, and he put Tebow in. Now, I am firmly convinced that the reason that John Fox did that was like, watch, this will shut him up, right? Let me put this bum out here and watch what happens. And what happened was the Broncos started to mount this furious comeback, and they didn't win the game, but they came back and they got close enough that it made it virtually impossible for them to not start Tebow the next game. And they did start Tebow the next game. I am comparing that Tebow performance to this first one for Shedeur, because look, the first one that Shedeur got into, like, come on, man, there was no chance there, right? I'm comparing this to that one because it wasn't like Tebow was great in the course of that game that I described, but they moved down the field and they got some things done, right? Shedeur in this game had like the big pass to Bond where he rolled right, threw off the back leg, got the ball down there. Okay, cool. But he got a 66-yard touchdown where he threw the ball about 18 inches.
Right, exactly. A lot of what the Colorado stuff looked like. And just to compare, in Tebow's first win, he went 13 for 27, completing for 161 yards, 2 touchdowns to win the game, 18-15 in overtime.
Yes, and that was against Miami, right?
Right.
Okay.
So you were right to the Chargers. He comes in the Chargers game. They lose by 5.
Yes.
Right. So he starts the next week and they win it overtime.
Yeah, but he was bad. Like, yes. I don't remember if I've told you the story that I did around the horn that day, right? Now, after that game, I hit a guy up that played for the Dolphins now, who is now a coach. And I asked him, I said, so what'd you say on Tebow? And he said, matter-of-factly, worst quarterback I've ever seen, right? He was like, hey, we lost the game, but that's the worst quarterback that I've ever seen, okay? Which, by the way, Shedeur Sanders is not the worst quarterback I've ever seen. That's an important distinction also in this. However, I do around the horn the next day. I believe it's me, Woody Page, Bob Ryan, and Tim Cowlishaw. And we go around, in the circle on the conference call where everybody gives their thoughts. And everybody, Woody, obviously, he was in Denver, so he had his one vantage on it. He's like, hey, we got a little something, got the people going. The vibes off of Bob Ryan and Cowlishaw were kind of, every white man deserves a chance. And these are guys I like. I want to be clear. Like, they weren't doing this from a standpoint of racism, but this is the world we live in, right? They were just kind of like, yeah, I thought it was bad, but not so bad. And it got to me, and brother, I was flabbergasted, gobsmacked, I tell you. I couldn't believe what I was hearing because I was just like, it's the worst quarterback I've ever seen. Like, I couldn't believe anybody saw anything other than the worst quarterback I'd ever seen. Oh my God. And that led to a good 2-3 months of them putting me on TV on Monday to lose my goddamn mind on TV in front of God and everybody. I just couldn't take it. Like, you just find all kinds of clips with me with my head in my hands, just can't believe what's going on here. Like, and they keep winning. It just keeps going. I can't understand what is going on here, right? And I was fighting against it. I felt like I was fighting against it. You know what, man? I think I'm gonna say this to Shedeur, to the fans, everybody. I'm gonna say this, perhaps on behalf of the people in my line of work, man. Man, let's just get this money. You know what I'm saying? Let's just get this money. Is there a peaceful way for us to get this money, Ryan? Because this really gets the people going. I will never understand how Shedeur Sanders, of all people, became inspirational to folks. That is the most mind-blowing part about this, is the idea that this is a feel-good story. I don't get that. I don't get the investment that people have in him. None of this makes any sense. But it's here, we there, we might as well just get this money.
I think a lot of it comes from people feel, I think the Shedeur hive feels aggrieved of that he got, of the perceived lack in his draft stock and the fact that he went in the 5th round. And then I think he has become one of the most shocking underdog stories I've ever seen.
There's a difference
the shocking perception of an underdog I've ever seen.
Yes. That's it. So then I want you to stay on screen with me because I want to know if you feel where I'm coming from on this. Okay. There is a difference between being an underdog and not being that good.
Correct.
Though, like, not being an underdog in the way that we talk about this is like, oh, he's not actually that. I don't even know how to say.
Brock Purdy is an underdog.
Yes. I think that's maybe a better way to put it. I mean, Cam Ward is an underdog.
Correct.
I think that's the distinction that I'm looking for here. Cam Ward, former 0-star recruit for West Columbia, Texas, who goes to Incarnate Word and then goes to Wazoo and then winds up at Miami and becomes a Heisman finalist and becomes the #1 pick in the draft. That is an underdog. This guy who has had a whole slew of advantages, and the greatest advantage at all, a father with the power to be able to become a coach at all these places to shepherd you through to get to the point where you get to the NFL. This is not an underdog story, right? They don't make rich underdogs, right? I don't think Tom Brady is not an underdog story. He went to fucking Michigan, all right?
Is Josh Allen an underdog to you?
He's a late bloomer.
Okay, that's a good distinction.
Right. He is a late bloomer, but it's hard to be that big, that strong, that fast, that everything.
Is Baker Mayfield an underdog?
Kinda, yeah.
Here's my favorite, and I apologize if this makes you upset. Do you know where I'm going with this?
I do not.
Is Jalen Hurts an underdog?
Huh. Another interesting case. I mean, he's another very highly touted recruit who
went to Alabama.
Yeah, and Oklahoma.
Yeah.
He just has a ceiling on his talents, right? Like, I think that's where this gets to be fun is an underdog apparently is whatever you want it to be.
Right.
Right? We can turn anybody to Brock Purdy, underdog. Brock Purdy was an all-conference quarterback in college.
People made Steph Curry out to be an underdog in the LeBron versus LeBron James and talk about, father with lots of advantages growing up,
Yeah, but the thing I would say about Steph in terms of that, where he becomes an interesting underdog case, is none. He was so small when he got to college.
Right.
Like if you watch the college version of Steph Curry, yeah. You see, and he went to Davidson. He did not play high level AAU basketball, so there was access to certain things, but the application was very, very interesting. But yeah, let me tell you the best example of this. I don't know if you remember this, but it was in 2010. The first year that Calipari was at Kentucky. and Kentucky played against Cornell in the Sweet 16. And
Right.
the argument was that Cornell was this team of underdogs playing against a team with Eric Bledsoe, who, as I recall, spent a significant portion of his high school life sleeping in a car.
Yes.
But he was a 5-star recruit.
Right.
And it's like, who's the underdog? The Ivy League kids or John Wall, who, where I met his high school coach, was like, yeah, you go to John's house right now, you'll see his mama hanging clothes on the line. You know what I mean? Like, who's really the underdog here?
Right.
And it gets weird. It's difficult for me to put Shedeur as being an underdog, in part because clearly a lot of people are betting on him. Right? There's clearly a lot of people that are on this. I think it's great for him that he got a start in the NFL and that start went as well as it did. I think it worked out well for him that he got to play against some bums, and it made everybody so mad with the Raiders that they lost to the Browns that Chip Kelly got fired.
Right.
Yeah, it was like, hey, man, dude, that's the first Raiders game I think I've watched like for real, because I watched a lot of that game. Hey, man, Geno Smith about to lose his mind up in here.
They're bad.
They're bad. They had 10. I mean, the Browns sacked them 10 times.
I mean, it's just like the kind of sacks where you like, we're not exactly, football X's and O
Correct.
geniuses. And there's like, is that guy supposed to block Myles Garrett by himself?
Right.
Is this person I've never heard of going to take on Myles Garrett?
Yeah,
who's
yeah.
about to break the sack record before
they're like,
December 1st?
Like, also, you're guarding Jokic.
Yeah, exactly.
You're 6'4". Like how is this happening? And so good, again, good for Shedeur. I mean, he did not play poorly, right? You don't blame somebody. Like, he got the touchdown pass. It's the touchdown pass. It's what it is, but it's going to look better on paper than it did in application. He looked like he made some pretty good throws. Like, he absolutely should be starting next week. See, that's the other thing for Stefanski. It makes it very difficult to defend the way that you have dealt with Shedeur and the way Dillon Gabriel has played after that game. Like, no matter what is going to happen when he goes back and watches the film, and he can probably parse and point out more errors than the layperson is going to be able to under those circumstances. But you're going to have a hard time explaining to people why it was that you kept Hawaii 5-9 out there and didn't play Shedeur after that game. It's going to be tough, right? Because I don't really see it, to be perfectly honest. Like, he said he's going to wait and see who's going to be the starter next week. No. Let me tell you right now, Shedeur's going to be your starter next week. I mean, I could be wrong here, but if Shedeur is inspiring the people in the streets like this, I bet he got some people in the locker room there, and they just won that game, and you're going to have to look at them and explain why you're going to go back to Dillon Gabriel. Nah, sir, that's not going to happen. Shedeur's going to be your starter next week.
Yeah, football players aren't interested in this tanking. Like,
no.
Like,
no.
And then here's the thing. Like, if he goes out there and beats a Bob Saleh defense, I mean, they've got a bunch of injuries on that 49ers side of the ball, but that's playing a real defensive coordinator, and they're fighting for playoff position.
Yeah.
So this is another real test to see what he's got.
Yeah. No. You got to play him. Like, that was the thing that happened with Tebow after they had that comeback against the Chargers. You got to put him out here. Whether you like it or not, you're going to need to make peace with this, right? Because us over here, we're going to be getting this money. And we're going to be getting this money by talking about this a lot. And I swear, I don't know if it's just the internet giving it to me. People is not trying to hear about your Dillon Gabriel right now, brother. Just telling you right now, they're not trying to hear it. I will tell you, however, what I'm not trying to hear, which is another word that Shedeur Sanders has to actually say out of his own mouth. Ryan, somebody needs to explain to him that all these things you just need to stop. I'm trying to show these people that I'm what they've been waiting for. Just play a couple of games, big dog. Bring it down. He was talking about how I grew up in a 30,000 square foot house, but my daddy took me to the hood to get that dog in me. Son, you played in 5-figure watches. Like, this is not. Like, I mean, let me tell you, he took you over there to get that dog in here, but he didn't leave you there.
Yeah.
I bet he kept his eye on you. Like, don't. Hey, man, just keep going. I'm here to help him right now in this. Just keep going. You got a good start here. You might be able to start for the rest of the year, right? You might be able to. You might position yourself well for the quarterback controversy that's going to happen next year, right? Like, just try to keep Dylan Gabriel off the field,
And
but
you get to
be as
play against the Titans,
you do.
the Bears.
Yes.
Oh God, ugh. Yeah, he's got to play the Bills and the Steelers.
Yeah.
And then he gets another. Then he gets a free one against the Bengals when they're all good.
He does. He does.
At the end of the year.
Be cool, baby. Be cool. That's all I'm saying. If you can be as cool about this as you can, this can work out for you. I think it's best for him to leave Cleveland if he wants to play somewhere. Like, I think you're positioning yourself for a future that is not for the team for which you play right now. I also know that Cleveland is consistently a cluster. There's no telling what Jimmy Haslam thought after that game. There's no telling what Matthew Berry. I mean, not Matthew Berry. Andrew Berry. Big difference between the two. Andrew Berry made the trade to go get him. Right? So there's some level of belief that's there. Can you imagine the group text, the conference call, whatever it is between the Cleveland Browns brain trust that they're having about this?
And speaking of places where he might end up, he might be looking for places in Vegas.
He could, but they need to go get a real live quarterback too.
But people might think he's a real live quarterback after that game.
They might, but I don't know if Pete Carroll is one of those people. I think Pete Carroll is going to go back and watch that film and curse out his own guys.
Yeah.
Right? And so let me tell you, a buddy of mine was at a bar. He said, oh, yeah. They got a bind. My good buddy Corey Urban. He's a Browns fan for reasons that don't make any sense.
That's incredible.
He said last week there was, and granted, this is in Toronto, but he said last week there were 7 people at the Browns backer bar. Today it was absolutely packed. 2 80-plus-year-old men came out for the first time this year because they said it was the first time they felt hope in a while. It don't matter. The football part barely matters, guys. Like, let's get this money. Shedeur Mania, baby. Let's print out these T-shirts. Right, let's just ride this out. I don't even know if I don't need to have opinions about this anymore. I've stated how I feel about him.
Let's just have some fun.
I'm going to give him credit when he plays well. I'm going to be honest when he does it. But in the meantime, tween time, the best kind of fun, the kind of fun where the black people and the white people might start fighting. And by the way, it's not just the black people and the white people. It's the black people and the black people who send me texts about it because they don't want to talk about it in front of people because it's getting just a little bit dicey out here in these streets. Nobody wants to be called a rodent. You understand what I'm saying? Right? Nobody wants to be like, oh, you be ruffling through trash in the dumpster. You feel what I'm saying? Nobody wants that. But let's just get this money, man. Let's just get this money because otherwise it's going to drive me crazy